What is the difference between semen retention and NoFap? My understanding of NoFap at its core is that it is a period of time that a guy goes through where he doesn't masturbate and he doesn't have sex and he doesn't look at porn. And this period of time serves as a reset. It serves as a physiological, biological, mental, cognitive, spiritual reset for your sexual response system, for this guy's sexual response system. And this is really fucking valuable. And there are two things that happen over this time. Say you're doing NoFap for 30 days or 60 days of NoFap or 90 days of NoFap, right? There are two different things that are happening. One of those is that, yes, when you don't ejaculate regularly, you don't have that cascade of physiological and hormonal release that happens in your body when you have an ejaculatory orgasm. Your body literally goes through a substantial transformation, right? So when you don't do that over a period of time, you're not in recovery mode from the ejaculatory orgasm. So that builds up, and that's what some people call your sexual energy. That's what some people call your vitality. That's something that helps with the brain fog, right? Another aspect of NoFap that's really, really important is the psychological component of all this, right? When you don't look at porn for 30 days, when you don't look at porn for 90 days, when you don't masturbate, when you don't have sex, when you don't fantasize, that is reprogramming your entire sexual response system to come back to yourself, to come back to this really grounded place internally. And this is something that most of us have never done. And this is why so many people who go through NoFap have huge results, like amazingly positive results. They make more money, they create businesses, they are super successful with their art projects or their sports careers, like whatever. Like there's a reason NoFap works. And it's because you're coming back to your own power through NoFap. You're coming back to yourself. So the question then becomes, and this is where semen retention comes in, it's like, what happens after those 30 days of NoFap? What happens after those 60 days of NoFap? You probably want to have sex, right? At some point again. And a lot of guys that I've talked to who are coming from NoFap, they're afraid of getting back into sex because they're afraid of all these old patterns coming up again. And that's totally understandable. Like it's easy to just like say no to something and put up a box around this thing and say, no, I'm not going to do that. But where semen retention comes in and where it's different from NoFap, in my opinion, is that semen retention is a pleasure positive, sex positive lifestyle where you're saying, wow, actually, yeah, I want to be having sex because I realize sex is fucking amazing and it's beautiful and I revere this act of sex and I see that my sexual energy is powerful. And instead of just pushing it away, I'm actually going to integrate it into my life. So for me, semen retention involves regular self-pleasure and a shift away from the idea of typical masturbation of just getting off into this paradigm of self-pleasure. And this leads itself to so many amazing experiences in sex by yourself, but also with other people. And so semen retention is an embrace of sex. It's an embrace of sexual energy. And to me, semen retention doesn't mean never ejaculate. It just means be really mindful with how often you ejaculate, because you know that when you do ejaculate, it sets off this whole cascade of physiological responses in your body. Excess ejaculations can drain your life force and it can give you brain fog and it can take away your clarity. And then when you actually practice semen retention and you engage sexually with yourself and engage sexually with others and don't let your energy go through regular ejaculations, like this is the essence of sexual energy transmutation. This is what Napoleon Hill was talking about in his book, Think and Grow Rich. This is what all the tantric and the Taoist sexuality systems are talking about. They're talking about how this life force energy that runs through your body that is sexual energy is beautiful and powerful. And when you tap it, when you embrace it, bring it into your life, bring it into your entire body and tap into this, then you can use that power to create anything that you want. And so for me, those are the main differences between NoFap and semen retention. And yes, I know there's a bunch of different subcategories of NoFap. I'm not really familiar with all of them. I've heard there's monk mode, hard mode. I don't know what they all mean. But in essence, my understanding is that NoFap is a period of time that you go through to reset your entire system. And then for me, semen retention is something that is an embrace of sexuality, an embrace of pleasure, and an embrace of just like being a sexual being. And it's integrating this energy into your life in a really powerful, meaningful way. So if you have a different opinion from that, or you have a question or something you want to add, please leave a comment below, because I think this is a really useful conversation to have as we move forward in this society right now, as men who care about our energy and care about our contributions to the world. So if you want to try the practice of semen retention, I'll put directly under this video a link to my free 7-day semen retention challenge. Definitely check that out. It'll give you the foundations for this whole practice. And if you want to go deeper, I have a 21-day challenge that you can go through on your own time. I'll link to that beneath this video too. And that is an in-depth dive into the practice and the art of semen retention. It's going to give you some amazing, amazing tools to integrate it into your life in a powerful, balanced, and fun way. So check that out, and I'll see you next time, brother. Cheers.